Daily Fantasy Golf, the Open Championship Expert Picks. As part of ESPN Fantasy's efforts to give daily gamers intel on whom to target in DFS, our fantasy golf experts are here to share which players they view as building blocks for this weekend's major championship. The panel for the Open Championship features SportsCenter anchor Matt Barrie, ESPN.com's Will Harris, Jason Sobel, Bob Harig, Kevin Maguire, Gene Wojciechowski, Alex Perry, Tristan Barclay, FantasyGolfInsider's Jeff Bergerson, Zach Turcotte, Pitra and Jason Rouslin, and Dailyfantasybootcamp's D.J.Alex. Note: golfer salaries listed are for DraftKings.Bob Harig Adam Scott, $10. 600 The Aussie's form has slipped since winning back-to-back tournaments in the spring, but he's been a solid player at the Open for several years. Scott has had decent performances in his past two events, including a tie for 10th at the WGC Bridgestone. He has finished in the top 10 in 11 of his past 22 majors. Kevin Maguire Branden Grace, $9.700 in the 5 majors since the 2015 Masters. Grace owns 3 top 5 finishes, including nearly winning the 2015 U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. The South African might not be the highest profile player in the field, but how many fans would know that he's now ranked inside the top 10 in the world? Matt Barrie, Branden Grace, $9.700. The Open Championship tends to yield itself to an off-the-radar name that sneaks up on the stars. And this year that will be Grace. Although he's never finished inside the top 20 at the Open, he's playing as good of golf as anyone in the world, including 2 wins in the past year. Grace has the game, and major mindset, to get it done at Royal Troon. Gene Wojciechowski, Dustin Johnson, $12.000. ALL favorites aren't created equal. I understand all the reasons why people are picking Jason Day and Rory McIlroy to win the Open. But at the risk of sounding too golfy, I worry about their high ball flights if the winds and rain roll in, which they're supposed to during the course of this tournament. Overthinking it? Probably. But I'll go with Dustin Johnson, who can overpower any course, has an underrated short game, has played fairly well in Opens since 2010 and has won his last 2 tournaments, including the U.S. Open. A daring, under-the-radar pick? Nah. But if pre-Open form counts, nobody is playing better than D.J.Alex Perry Sergio Garcia, $10.000. Sergio. If I keep saying Sergio, he'll eventually win one, right? Forget his missed cut at Troon in 2004. He has. Forget the 8-foot putt to win that wouldn't drop at Carnoustie in 2007. He has. The Open has always felt like his best chance to finally get on that major championship winner's roll call, and he's coming into this week in fine form. The Spaniard's name is going on that Claret Jug on Sunday. Jason Sobel Martin Kaymer, $8.400. He won a major in 2010. Sank the Ryder Cup-clinching putt in 2012 and won another major in 2014. Well, guess what? This is another even-numbered year and Kaymer happens to be playing solid golf entering this week, with finishes of 13th or better in 4 of his past 5 starts. If we've learned anything at the Open, it's that the favorites often don't win here. Kaymer isn't a favorite, but he's certainly good enough to get the job done, again. Tristan Barclay, Phil Mickelson, $8.600 SURE. We could look to the trendy young things such as Jason Day and Dustin Johnson for this year's Open Championship, but for an outside shot, how about the veteran Mickelson? The 2013 champion shot a 66 in his final round at last week's weather-beaten Scottish Open, reveling in the blustery British conditions that are sure to play a part at Royal Troon. The man openly admits to loving links golf, and his victory at Muirfield 3 years ago shows he has what it takes to win on these British shores. At 46, he might lack the firepower of his younger rivals, but experience counts beside the sea. SportsCenter Pitra, Matt Kuchar, $7.800. The Open Championship has not been overly friendly to Kuchar, but he has made the cut in all but one appearance, 2011, and has 3 top 30 finishes including a T9 in 2012. Based on his results, you could argue this setup is the worst for his game, but his form looks way too tempting to fade him this week. Known primarily as a cut maker, I think his price may make him a very chalky play this week, which is fine for cash games, but you may want to swerve when making your GPP lineups. Will Harris Charl Schwartzel, $7.800. Schwartzel is outside the top 20 in the DraftKings pecking order, but has the credentials of a fringe top 10 guy. The former Masters champ has been in fine, consistent form all year, picking up wins in his native South Africa and during the PGA Tour's Florida swing, while cracking the top 25 in each of his past 5 starts. Schwartzel is inside the top 10 on tour in a host of key stats, and though a rookie at Troon, he has solid history in Scotland. David Jayne Graeme McDowe, $7.500. WHEN looking for a value play this week? There are several factors I'm weighing heavily, and GMAC grades well in all of them. He keeps the ball low off the tee to mitigate the effect of wind that can cause havoc on high ball flights. His current form is solid, coming off a top 10 finish at the Scottish Open where, if a couple more putts had dropped, he could have won. McDowell's history at Opens is strong as well, making 7 of his last 8 cuts with a pair of top 10s. And last but not least, he's vocalized how extremely motivated he is to make the Ryder Cup team and was at Royal Troon getting in plenty of practice the week before the Scottish Open. Jeff Bergerson, Rafael Cabrera Bello, $6.900. I have been recommending Cabrera Bello to our members all year and a vast majority of the time he has delivered. He has 12 top 25 finishes this season, 6 of which were top 10s. He is familiar with links-style courses as he is a permanent staple on the European Tour. Most importantly, he racks up DraftKings points. He averages a whopping 73 points per tournament. At only $6,900 this week, I like his upside, especially for the Millionaire Maker contest. Zachary Turcotte, Charl Schwartzel, $7,800. Schwartzel is the bargain of the week at $7,800. He has missed just one cut in 15 starts this season, has 6 top 10 finishes and 3 wins. In his last 6 starts at the Open, Schwartzel has finished inside the top 16 4 times. His tee-to-green game has been exceptional this year, and his long iron play will help him with some of the longer PAR 3s and approach shots on the PAR 4 holes this week. If he can make enough birdies this week, he should find himself in contention. Schwartzel will be highly owned, but a must-play in cash games this week and worth owning even in the Millionaire Maker, where ownership percentage is a less important variable than other weeks. Jason Rouslin, Alexander Noren, $6,900 WELL. The last time the Scottish Open was held at Castle Hill, the winner of that event went on to win the Open, Phil Mickelson. If you like that angle, Noren is a pretty good play. He also has an 8th and 12th place finish on his recent form card, 1st, 8th, missed cut, 12th. A good ball striker. I love Noren's value at $6,900 as he has missed just 2 cuts in 12 starts this season.